Let's take a look at another headline. Of course, the NASA and Raila Odinga continues to be the biggest headline. NASA standoff as Raila refuses to yield ground. That's a star. Raila put to task by NASA chiefs on deal on the Daily Nation, and what Raila told NASA chiefs over deal with Uhuru on the Standard. It is the biggest talking point even on Twitter. It is one of the main topics and the trending hashtag Uhuru Raila. Let's take a look at one more headline before we finish our news review this morning, and it's on the front page of the Star. MPs vow to go ahead with Cecily Kariuki's impeachment. Now, this is one of those stories that could have escaped a mention or our attention simply because of what's going on politically in the country. But yes, when MPs were in Mombasa, this is when it came up with whatever was happening at the Kenyatta National Hospital. And then the CS for Health sent home the CEO, Lily Koros, of Kenyatta Hospital. And that ignited a lot of things. MPs from the Rift Valley came out and said that they will now impeach Cecily Kariuki for allegedly mishandling the issues at Kenyatta Hospital. On the other hand, MPs from Embu came out in support of the CS, but now we can see the headline here reads, MPs are determined to table an impeachment motion against Health Cabinet Secretary Cecily Kariuki today, despite opposition from the top Jubilee leadership and the National Assembly. Bonosoro.
Let me first set a disclaimer that the Honorable CS is my good neighbor here in Nairobi, and my sentiments could be biased because we share a good neighborhood. But having said that, there is an element that people do not understand, that everything rises and falls on leadership. The step Cecily took, in my opinion, actually, she's the most hardworking CS that Jubilee has. Mm-hmm. The most, you know, the step that Cecily Kariuki took to suspend Koros was the right step to take. That, in my opinion, everything rises on leadership. When a corporation or an organization falls down, then the leader should be in question. If this country goes down, we'll question Uhuru Kenyatta as the President of the Republic. So what she did, she started from the top. And she actually never did something so unique. That is what the law says. Mm-hmm. You've been mentioned, or rather there is a question in your leadership, step aside as we investigate. Mm-hmm. But it is taking a tribal line that the MPs from Rift Valley are now defending Koros simply because she comes from that area. I mean, this is not what should be happening. Yes. We've had several stories from Kenyatta National Hospital. We've seen people complaining of being raped. You know, a thing that was really fought by several people again. I mean, this is another time that it's not a coincidence that things are happening in Kenyatta National Hospital. So you will definitely not support this motion? Exactly. I am fully behind Cecily Kariuki, and this motion is not going to pass. We are going to marshal other MPs to rally behind Cecily Kariuki. Senator Irungu Kangata, the way Jubilee MPs operate in Parliament is very different. They appear to get specific directions from State House or the party leadership for that matter. President Uhuru Kenyatta must be keen on securing his legacy. Universal healthcare is one of those. It's a big four agenda. It is in the president's interest to protect CS Cecily Kariuki. Do you think that he will even let the MPs table this motion today?
Let me start by saying I'm also somehow conflicted in this matter because Koros is a good friend of mine. The reason being, every time you're a member of parliament or even a senator, you always get demands from wananchi who have their relatives detained at Kenyatta Hospital for non-payment of, let's say, hospital arrears, maybe mortuary fees. So every time I do a letter to her, she's always good and kind enough to waive that bill. And to that extent, I found her to be quite a very good lady at a personal level. So from where I sit, by the way, my sympathies lie with her because she has been quite fair to the poor people. The poor people, the several people have written letters there. They have always been released. But does that necessarily mean you'll support this motion to impeach this? No. So I'm just explaining my conflict, isn't it? I'm saying I'm somehow conflicted. Be that as it may, casting aside, I think for now we shouldn't be moving to the direction of kicking out CSs. It's too early. She has only been nominated and appointed in that docket the other day. I think we are yet to see whether she can do a good job in that docket. From where I sit, probably I can give her a benefit of doubt, so that it's not fair to kick her out. I think also the Jubilee Party has also expressed itself. It does not support this move. I think Duale is doing everything to stall it, and therefore I'm not so sure whether that move will go through. I foresee a situation where there will be some negotiations so that those people can drop that
So
it
might also be the light of day.
And again also, if you were to look at the mood, I think it's also not very well calculated. There was not the members of parliament who initiated this move were not calculative enough.
Okay.
For now, the mood is not in favor of toppling a CS who has not even stayed there for a very long time. Probably we need to give her 1 year, 2 years. From there, we can do a proper assessment and decide whether she's a good CS or not. So from where I sit, I would urge negotiations. Probably also I belong to the school of thought that Koros needs to be reinstated. I think what happened may not be attributed to her per se. I think personally she has made a good effort to assist Kenyatta National Hospital. I think the problem with Kenyatta National Hospital, from where I see it, is capitation. It is highly underfunded. I was once sitting in the Committee on Health as a friend of that committee, and I recall there was submissions on that issue. You would see Kenyatta National Hospital needs a lot of funding from the central government, which is not forthcoming as we speak.
Thank you, Indimuli. Indimuli, this matter, it is something very, very serious. And first and foremost, I've met both parties. I've worked very closely with Cross, and as Mheshimiwa Kenyatta puts it, this is a national hospital. We have cases, we have issues from our respective constituencies. And one-on-one with her, I find her a very humble lady. In terms of servant leadership, she's done very well. But having said that, Kenyatta Hospital is a national referral hospital where we expect the highest level of professionalism, highest level of integrity, highest level in terms of ethics, you know. And whatever has been in the media pertaining Kenyatta has been actually very, very stressful. Can you imagine you go to theater and they open up your head, you know, surgery on a wrong person? This is serious professional negligence in the Muli. We've also seen cases, we have told of, we go to the wards, maternity, some women being raped. We are seeing theft of babies which are being born. This is a serious matter. It's not just an easy matter. And you know very well the buck stops at the head. And what Cecil has done, to me, I find it procedural. And what Cecil has done, remember, health is one of the 4 agendas of the Jubilee. They have housing, food security, manufacturing. And in terms of focus, in terms of the best CSs that the president believes in, are the ones that have been strategically positioned in those respective 4 agendas. So by putting Cecil there, the president had confidence when it comes to Cecil. So the issue is this: Cecil has not sacked Koros, has only said, step aside for purposes of investigations. So once the investigations are done, if you are not culpable, obviously your job is back. And what the honorable members are doing right now, and we've seen these motions come and go. We've seen Professor Kaimenyi was being impeached. We saw Waiguru, we saw Charity Ngilu. Parliament is a house of debate, is a house of records. So whoever is moving the motion, you must come with tight evidence, proven beyond any reasonable doubt, that this respective officer in Kenyatta, I mean the CS, whatever he did, it was something maybe outside the constitution. Remember, there is fair administrative of justice. The principle of innocent until proven guilty. That Cecil, that Lily Koros enjoys that. So when this issue comes to Parliament, it does not mean Cecil will go there. You see, I'm a leader, and I don't want to give my opinion for other people to think maybe this is a position of the coalition. But when this matter comes to the floor of the House, whoever is going to move that motion must convince members, must show the evidence, and in such a matter,
but
we are
as
going
it is,
to
you're
debate.
not convinced.
I've not seen the grounds. We must see the grounds. Then from there,
because of time, you can use your minute for that. But I'm looking at one tweet by Honorable Chris Wamalwa here, and you say, I condemn the Ugandan MP advocating for wife beating. The MP should withdraw and apologize. Wives are family pillars and equal partners that should be loved, cared for, respected, and supported. You will comment on that. I'll give you each a minute for your final comments.
On any subject?
Any subject.
Any subject. Final remarks.
Final comments. But first, let me say that this thing of people saying, you know, always coming out to support our own should really stop. That even when you're in the wrong, it's our own thing. But again, needless to say, this motion will not see the light of the day. Jubilee works on under autocracy leadership. Whatever comes from the house in the hill will be gospel truth. Nobody will want to go against what His Excellency Uhuru Kenyatta wants. And now that it's being pushed by the Jubilee MPs, we are sure that it will not see the light of the day, even with our absence. But then, having said that, let me now say on the meeting by His Excellency Uhuru Kenyatta and His Excellency Raila Odinga, I hope, and this is my common wish, that if this meeting is to bear fruit, then the fruit should be that they let Parliament be independent. This element of being called upon by, you know, fine, for discipline is okay, but being called upon and a riot act is read upon you as members of Parliament, and this mostly happens in Jubilee when you're quiet, seated, and then you're told you must pass these, you must, you know, these names must go through this, and this is your leadership, and stuff like that. They should now let Parliament be independent. We respect their positions, but now that we are also elected people, leaders who represent our people, we should be left, you know, to exercise our duties without undue influence from the state and from the opposition leadership. Okay,
thank you so much, Silvana Sosoro. Senator Kenyatta?
There's a reason as to why people elect Jubilee. No, there's a reason as to why people elect the president, and also they ensure he has a majority in Parliament. And from where I see it, the reason is they want to ensure president's policies are not torpedoed. Maybe in the Senate or even in the National Assembly. So to that extent, those people who are championing, we put a gap between the President and the National Assembly or even the Senate, I think they are not being fair. They appear not to appreciate the whole rationale of why Kenyans gave Jubilee a huge mandate in the National Assembly and Senate. Be that as it may, I think this union, the so-called proposed deal between Raila Odinga and Uhuru, is intended to bring down politics, people to concentrate on mundane things that can help them, economic, social things, which can assist them. And from where I sit, therefore, this weekend, I will be having a free eye clinic in Muranga, Kegumo constituency at a place called Gakoyo. I think I would urge all the people of Muranga who have a problem with the eyesight to come to that free eye clinic. For us now, we don't want to discuss politics. We are now talking about work. We also, yes, and also the Deputy President will be visiting Muranga County at Kangema constituency, Keirave, very soon, within 2 weeks' time. And from where we sit now as Jubilee, we want to ensure we do our work. We just proceed with the work. We don't want any other politics now that everyone is now joining the Jubilee agenda.
Okay, thank you, Senator. Finally,
thank you. Finally, I want to say that as NASA Coalition, we do support the constructive dialogue between the two leaders, or the two parts of the political divide. And lastly, as per my tweet, you know, when I was coming here over news that a member of Parliament from Uganda who had beaten his wife, he said that it's good for women to be beaten, to be disciplined, you know. I want to condemn that. I want to condemn that in the strongest terms possible. And that honorable member from Uganda should actually condemn and apologize to our wives, you know. Just as the Bible says, when you read Ecclesiastes 4:9, it says that in a relationship, in a family, two are better than one. When one is down, another one can pull each other. When two are together, there's more warmth, there's more synergy. This is to tell you that women are very critical as far as, or let me say spouses are very critical as far as the success of any member is concerned. Okay. So I find that was very wrong, very misleading, and people should respect their wives, they should love them, care, so that they can work together to be able to succeed. And lastly, I want to thank the great people of Community. You know, they voted for me overwhelmingly for the second term. And I'm requesting for their prayers as I advance myself to go for the governorship of Trans Nzoia in 2022. Thank you very much.
And you're going to
thank you so much, Chris Omalwa, MP Kimenini, aspiring governor of the Trans Nzoia, great county of Trans Nzoia, also Deputy Minority Whip in the National Assembly, Rongo Kenyatta, Senator Muranga, Deputy Majority Whip in the Senate, and Silvana Sosoro, MP Mugirango South. Thank you, gentlemen, for helping us look at the headlines this morning, especially the big one, which way NASA now that this has happened. Remember, Power Breakfast still continues up until 9. That's a hashtag to use on Twitter at Citizen TV Kenya. My Twitter handle at Freddy Ndimuli. Willis Praburu is on standby with Man Cave, but before that, Joey _Mudeng will be having another session. Do stand by for that. Good morning.